Now when I target a piece of cover or a structure element, what bait am I going to use? Which rod am I going to pick up first? I've got two elements right here. I've got this piece of cover, which I'm going to call that cover, not necessarily structure. I've got this pole, and then the structure element that I see is a depth change at the end of these rocks. So I've got two things. On the cover element, it's going to depend on where that fish that I see on Panoptics is in the water column. If it's in the water column very high, I'm going to grab a crankbait or a spinnerbait or something I can keep high in the water column. But most often, when it's around cover, the fish is subject to be very close to it. So I'm going to use some kind of bottom dwelling bait. I've got a shaky head on here right now, so I'm going to let that go to the bottom. I see that fish on Panoptics, it would be closer to that cover. So that's my choice when I'm fishing cover. Now when I'm fishing structure, which is the definition of structure to me, is a bottom change, a depth change. And with this riprap, as it comes around, I'm going to probably use a crankbait, which is a much more effective of fishing that drop off. You've got the break line coming off the corner of those rocks right there, and I can see that fish is closer to those rocks, but yet he's not married up to the rocks. He's out off of it. I'm going to use this shallow run crankbait to keep it up in the water column. So wherever that fish is positioned is how I choose my baits. The St. Clair tournament, it was a very flat area. A crankbait was the best way, the absolute best way to target those fish. They were very aggressive and would chase it, so I was very efficient in that way. The Ross Barnett tournament, I knew those zones were parallel and I was fishing the contour of that bank. I could keep my spinnerbait right in the strike zone all the time, right where those shad were spawning. So that's the relevancy of knowing how a fish is relating to the cover. Now it cuts all these choices. I mean, all the choices you got in a tackle shop, my goodness, you've got spinnerbaits, crankbaits, bottom baits, top water baits. Now I can get to the key and get to the end result of catching fish faster by being more efficient with my choice of baits.